Well, well, well. Your favorite CHTV group is finally back after a 4-month hiatus. This group looks a little different this year. We lost 3 pillars of CHTV, but we brought in 2 new rising stars. Up first, a senior out of the Croton Fire Department, Bryce Lemmel. Bryce looks to be a talented interviewer and has anchor potential. We then signed Gabe Alford to a 5-year max contract to work the slates. You'll get to meet both of them in just a few moments. But first, known worldwide as the best news segment, it's time for some world news. In late October, Bob, the world's oldest dog, died at the age of 31. That would be the equivalent of a human living to the age of 217. In other news, prosecutors officially closed the investigation on the aquarium in Berlin that collapsed, sending 264,000 gallons of water crashing into buildings. Police officials originally suspected foul play, but could not find concrete evidence. One of the biggest mysteries in the last decade will remain a mystery for good. That's all for World News. Now, let's send it over to Ben Prince.
Welcome back to On This Day. Today is November 1st, and people born on this day include Annalie Chapa, Lil Peep, and Alejandro Ronquillo. Some other cool things that happened on this day are that in 1834, the first ever game of poker was played, and in 1946, the first ever American Basketball Association game was played between the New York Knicks and Toronto Huskies. And in 1348, the Black Death reached London, England. That's all I have for you today on this day.
Wow. I mean that just might be the best day of all time. Probably my favorite day of the 365. And this day is just about to get even better, guys, believe it or not. Here's some student interviews.
Who am I here with today?
Christian Garcia.
Angelo.
Bella Carey.
Oren. All right, first question. What's the capital of the United States?
I don't know, bro.
Washington, D.C., I think.
Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Washington, D.C.
All right. Second question. Who's on the dollar bill?
George Washington.
Washington?
George Washington.
Good job.
George Washington.
If you're in a race and you pass the person in second place, what place are you in?
Second place.
Second place.
First.
What's heavier, a pound of feathers or a pound of gold?
They both weigh the same.
A pound of gold.
Are you sure about that?
They're the same thing.
They weigh the same.
And lastly, how many months have 28 days?
1 February.
You sure about that?
All of them.
All of them.
That's all we got for you today.
Congrats, Bryce, on your phenomenal debut. Much more to come for Mr. Lemmel. Stay tuned. Now let's send it over to a historical figure of Croton Harmon Television. His name is Corey DeBeer.
Of the school year. Today, we will preview the 2023 World Series. This year's Fall Classic will feature the American League champion Texas Rangers and the National League champion the Arizona Diamondbacks. If you told me that this was the matchup at the beginning of the season, I would have thought you were insane. The Texas Rangers have had an incredible turnaround season thus far. Winning only 68 games last year, the Rangers found a way to come together this season and win the pennant. In the wildcard round, they defeated the Tampa Bay Rays 2-0, winning both of those games in Tampa. In the divisional series, Texas faced the 1 seed in the American League, the Baltimore Orioles, and they defeated them 3-0. In the American League Championship Series, the Rangers took on their divisional foe and reigning American League champions, the Houston Astros. The Rangers got out to a 2-0 series lead, but then the Astros won 3 straight games. The Rangers battled back to win the next 2 games facing elimination to advance to the World Series. Texas has yet to lose on the road this postseason, and it's their first appearance in the Fall Classic since 2011. The Arizona Diamondbacks have had a magical season. Missing out on the playoffs last year and only winning 74 games, the Diamondbacks snuck into the playoffs this year and never looked back. In the wildcard round, Arizona traveled to Milwaukee to face the Brewers. They swept them, winning 2-0. In the divisional round, the D-backs had to go against their divisional rival, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers were heavily favored heading into the series, but Arizona ignored the critics and swept LA 3-0. On to the National League Championship Series, and the Diamondbacks had to face the defending NL champs, the Philadelphia Phillies. Arizona got down early in the series facing a 2-0 deficit. Many people thought the series was over, but the D-backs did what they did best and battled back. Down 3-2, the series went to Philly, which has been a tough place to play in the postseason. And the D-backs managed to win both games there, advancing to the World Series for the first time since 2001. You can watch the World Series starting Friday, October 27th, and ending at the latest on Saturday, November 4th. All games start at 8:03 Eastern Time. That's all for Sports in 60. Now I'll send it back to Jordan in the studio.
Enlightening as always, Corey. Let's now shift our attention to some major world conflict. On October 7th, the terrorist group Hamas launched a surprise attack into Israel from Gaza. They stormed into Israeli towns, kidnapping and killing many people. On October 8th, the Israeli Prime Minister officially declared war on the Hamas militants, and the IDF have since carried out airstrikes and are sending more troops into Gaza. Hamas has responded by launching missile attacks from Gaza into Israel, and Lebanese terrorist group Hezbollah has launched missiles into Israel from the north. On October 17th, the Al-Hali Arab hospital in Gaza was bombed and destroyed, killing more than 400 civilians. Although this attack was originally blamed on the Israeli government, later information showed that it was a failed Hamas rocket launch. After 3 weeks of constant fighting in the area, over 1,400 Israelis and 8,000 Palestinians, including more than 3,400 children, have tragically died during this conflict. Hamas has also taken more than 240 Israeli hostages. CHTV sends its prayers to all the families that have been affected by these horrific acts. With that being said, we've run out of time today. Make sure to follow us on all social medias at CHTV Croton, and get ready for the next H-Day where Liam Stapleton makes his much-awaited CHTV debut. Thanks for watching as always.